Hey everyone, welcome to my channel about electronic music. Today I have an exciting video for you all about one of the most innovative and talented musicians in the music industry right now, Fred again. Well, known for his unique sounds and boundary-pushing compositions, Fred has been making waves in the music scene. So let's dive right in and explore some interesting facts about this remarkable artist. Fred again, the London-based producer also known as Fred Gibson, has left an unforgettable mark on the music industry. With chart-topping hits in both pop and rap, he has collaborated with renowned artists such as Ed Sheeran, Stormzy, and Stefflon Don. Fred again combines house electronica with everyday samples and recorded conversations, showcasing his unique style.
You know how to calm me down, pull me out of this place.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Pull me out of this. 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 Pull me out of this.
His accomplishments include being the youngest producer to ever hold the title of the Producer of the Year award at the Brit Awards 2020, and the release of his acclaimed albums Actual Life and Actual Life 2, followed by the globally successful Actual Life 3. And finally, Fred again released Secret Life this year, 2023, an ambient pop album with Brian Eno. Well, Fred again has pretty unexpected family history. His father is a prominent King's Counsel barrister providing legal advice to the royal family. That basically means he is a lawyer extremely high up in British society, so high up that he gives legal advice to the king and other members of the royal family. Fred's great-grandfather was a member of the aristocracy, financier, and the British Army officer. He married Anne Charteris, British socialite, who later went on to marry Lord Rothermere and finally the James Bond creator Ian Fleming. His stage name, Fred again, came from a line in the live-action movie Scooby-Doo, where Fred, in the voice of Daphne, says this.
Until the protoplasm realigns with the appropriate bodies. I'm Fred again!
Oh.
Fred again, whose real name is Frederick John Philip Gibson, was born in London on 19th July 1993. At the age of 8, he started making classical piano pieces on his aunt's tape recorder, while at school he'd often bunk off lessons in favor of decamping to the music room. I was fortunate enough to not even be slightly good at anything else, he says, so I had clarity of focus. At the age of 16, an opportunity arose when he became involved with Brian Eno's a cappella group. This 2-year mentorship led to collaborations on Eno's albums and paved the way for Fred's own production career. For those who don't know Brian Eno, he is a legend in terms of music. Just look at his Wikipedia page. He's been in the industry since 1970s and had worked with David Bowie, U2, Coldplay, Phil Collins, etc. By the way, Fred references Brian's early work as a significant influence and proudly regards him as a mentor, honoring the rich musical legacy he has left behind. By 2018, Fred again had produced songs for Little Mix, Shawn Mendes, and Burna Boy, before landing his first UK #1 single, producing Church Ezra's Shotgun. Throughout 2019, almost 30% of #1 singles in the charts were produced by Fred again. After becoming a crucial producer behind the scenes of many hits in the UK, Fred felt compelled to showcase more of his own ideas and step into the limelight. Fred again's debut album Actual Life was released in 2020 and made a significant influence in the music industry. The album was a deeply personal project that reflected Fred's emotions and experiences during the specified time period. The album captured chaotic events of 2020, including COVID-19 pandemic, and explored themes of love, loss, isolation, personal growth, accompanied by Fred's signature blend of pop, electronic, and experimental sounds.
We've lost the hugs with friends and people we loved. There has been so much loss.
We've lost dancing.
Actual Life received critical acclaim for its rawness, honesty, and Fred again's exceptional songwriting and production. It resonates with listeners seeking solace and meaning amidst the challenges of the year. Fred's commitment to creating pure and genuine music shines through as he navigates the ups and downs of life, documenting his experiences and friendships through sonic snippets and Instagram stories. The thing that I kind of fell in love with is the feeling of making records that feel like a collaborative diary. At the beginning, I would just pull sounds from videos on my phone and random things from nights out and stuff like that. When my friends and I were out, I'd always be the guy filming random shit on my phone, so that when I woke up all hungover, I had some funny souvenirs of the evening to scroll through. The albums were often created while on the move, whether during long train journeys, within cafes, at airports, or even in the midst of car rides. It doesn't matter what happens in life, I just want to make the musical aspect as pure as it can possibly be, he says. I'm happy as long as I'm making something honest. I first found out about him through his song Maria We've Lost Dancing during COVID, and I remember thinking, what a remarkably talented artist. Honestly, it was a huge surprise for me to discover that all three albums were kind of about the same thing. It was a deeply personal project about love and a big loss. So delving deeper and gathering information like puzzle pieces in my head, I realized that Fred was deeply in love with a girl who fell seriously ill, and Fred's personal life is kept a secret, which is wonderful. Just in case you want to understand his music a little better, try to listen to all three albums carefully, paying attention to every word and sequence. Watch the video for his song Angie, I've Been Lost. And at some point I became obsessed with the idea that it is a very intimate music. You almost experience another person's feelings along with him. And since then it stopped being just cool music to me because it is a very emotional thing. And with the release of Adore You, Fred announced the end of Actual Life Records. So what comes next will be marvelous.
Was there music that helped you in the last 12 months that wasn't your own?
Fred's Actual Life 1 is about his grief, and I found that incredibly helpful. Listening to a song like Me Heavy or whatever, I found that whole record, I Found You, So I know the whole world is falling in love with Fred.
Because of the truth in his music.
Well, and he's like easily one of the most talented musicians on the planet.
Moving with the flows of day-to-day life, Fred is nothing but genuine. His down-to-earth persona resonates throughout his music, and the life and friends that wrap around him, all documented through sonic snippets and quick Instagram stories. He is also prone to wirelessly sending works in progress to unsuspecting people's phones, be they fans at his show or strangers on planes.
This guy showed up really early for my show in Oslo. So we airdropped him a song off of my next album, Actual Life 3. His reaction here is just... I don't think his friends believed him. Enjoy, my guy.
I clocked in front row, absolutely living during the show.
Amazing show, thank you so much. Can I please get a picture? Yeah, of course.
All of his tracks are built around a sound, a vocal, a poem, or something in the same vein taken by the producer, either from scrolling too long on social media and stumbling across the perfect sample, or simply mid-conversation using his phone.
I want you to see me, Fred. I'm here.
These guys are giving me life.
We gon' make it through.
This unfiltered approach gives his music a unique and distinctive identity. Fred's selection process for samples revolves around finding pure and honest moments that instinctively resonate with him, even if he cannot fully control or predict their impact. I'll spend months working on one sample, just trying to find its emotional home. Despite having never been on tour before his sold-out Boiler Room set last July, it quickly became one of the platform's most viewed performances. 5 months later, the video has had over 11 million views, overtaking the numbers seen by artists such as Disclosure, Richard Houghton, Fatboy Slim in only 4 weeks. For sure, Boiler Room played a huge role in his current massive popularity. And when he did finally go on tour in October, he sold out his 15-day world tour in minutes, packing out Brixton's O2 Academy for 3 nights in a row. Fred Again's Boiler Room had become a rare dance, music-pop culture crossover moment, lending momentum to the producer's rise and bringing in a slew of new fans, both from the worlds of electronic and even those previously unfamiliar with the genre. Meanwhile, Spotify reports that while Fred Again's releases had been steadily rising by around 1–2% a month in 2022, following the Boiler Room set in July they rose by 50% and in August 89%. He describes performing live as an extension of his work. When I do a live show, I'll try and bring together various set lists that tell the story as a bigger picture over the course of an hour. Fundamentally, the story of each show is told through the prism of what's happening right now. For example, during the show, random videos from my camera roll will play on the screen. But for the last 10 minutes of the show, the camera will turn around and start filming the crowd. That's a really important moment to me because it feels like that's when we've caught up to the present tense. First and foremost, it's the energy and emotion that Fred Again brings. He smashes through bouncy club, sentimental house, chart-buttering dance, scuffed-up garage, grime, jungle, and plenty more besides. Anyone can play wall-to-wall bangers, but to play them with such brightness and catchy emotional content is a gift. That's how Fred Again has become a millennial icon, resonating deeply with his audience. Fred Again had different collaborations, but in this video I'm gonna talk only about Skrillex and Four Tet and Fred Again Trio. The 3 producers representing different sounds and generations of electronic music are widely recognized among the best artists of their respective realm of dance music and are now also frequent collaborators. They played their first show together at a club in London this past January, sold out Madison Square Garden in February, and have now closed out Coachella, marking a landmark moment not only for them personally, but for dance music at the festival. The first collaborative single, Baby Again, was first heard during Fred Again's Boiler Room set, a performance that has since been streamed 23 million times. Those who did watch the Boiler Room set know that Skrillex had a hand in a number of ideas that were played that evening, and the live crowd as well as the internet went wild for the new music. Earlier this year, Skrillex returned with 2 new albums, Don't Get Too Close and Quest for Fire, which featured contributions from both Fred Again and Four Tet. Back to Baby Again. This single has been created during an impromptu studio session in Pangbourne, England, where Fred, Skrillex and Four Tet came together to make music in the remote English countryside. The song has since been a staple of all 3 artists' sets. Fred Again, Skrillex and Four Tet embarked on a series of surprise pop-up events in New York City, culminating in an extraordinary 5-hour back-to-back set at Madison Square Garden. The show, which took place just 3 days after its announcement, sold out within a remarkable 3 minutes. With a capacity of 20,000, the Madison Square Garden performance marked the pinnacle of the New York run. During the set, Fred Again dropped track Baby Again 2 hours into the performance, creating an iconic moment when the entire venue's lights were turned off for the first time. This particular event showcased the immense talent and chemistry of the trio, leaving a lasting impression on the audience. This year, Fred Again, Skrillex and Four Tet delivered a groundbreaking headline set at Coachella, one of the world's largest music festivals. The performance took place in the California desert, captivating an estimated crowd of 100,000 attendees.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd get to walk along. I saw Ariana Grande walk along there, and now it's going to be me. We have to do that under all circumstances.
This is the best video we've taken over the whole day.
The setlist showcased a blend of tracks from each producer's catalog, featuring notable songs such as Four Tet's Baby, Fred and Skrillex's collaborative track Rumble, Fred's Tron and Billy Loving Arms, as well as Four Tet's remarkable remix of Taylor Swift's Love Story. The performance also incorporated elements of dubstep, drum and bass, redeem, and garage, with unexpected surprises like the fusion of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit with dubstep. This eclectic mix created a unique and unconventional dance music experience on the Coachella main stage, reminiscent of the festival's early days when acts like Chemical Brothers were headliners. Also, people are just in pure appreciation of Fred for his constant creativity and thoughtfulness toward the fan experience. For instance, he organized a set in a cafe on Scottish Island, which typically hosts yoga sessions, resulting in a surreal atmosphere that left everyone wondering, where the heck are we? So yeah, he's that artist who takes a unique approach to releasing his music. Instead of relying on traditional promotional campaigns, he invites his fans to contribute to the creation of his records. And it is pretty clear that the majority of people who were able to get tickets to his show at Madison Square Garden were those who regularly followed the trio's social media pages and acted quickly before tickets sold out. Fred Again's ability to create a sense of exclusivity and excitement through his unconventional methods establishes him as a captivating and influential artist.
We started to work with this guy called Fred Again. I was like, who is this guy? This is amazing. Like, he makes music on the streets and like recording people. I'm like, wow. He took a plane to Sweden and we spent 3 days with him in the studio, and it was really really inspirational. He's like, okay guys, I'm not sure if you're gonna be stressed out about this, but I have a timer, so I make a song in 35 minutes. Max was like, what do you mean? Like, I can't even make coffee in 35 minutes.
No, I would be like one kick drum, 35 minutes, you know?
And that wraps up our exploration of the incredibly talented Fred again. Once again, Fred proved that he is much more than his talent and is well on his way to becoming one of the most appreciated artists of all time. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into his life and work. Don't forget to check out his music and collaborations with Four Tet and Skrillex. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Stay tuned for more episodes and thank you for watching.